likes of whom are indeed rare in this world. CRS was a dear friend, an advisor, and a guide to me for almost 4 decades in his areas of interest, be it education, be it engineering, or public service. What can I say about a person who has always placed service above self? A multifaceted, versatile, uniquely talented, a man of many dimensions, including his waxing and waning physical dimension. A greatly spirited person who touched the lives of all of us assembled here, many not here, many more unseen and even unknown. CRS was truly Coimbatore's brand ambassador, encompassing the spirit of entrepreneurship, a leader of institutions of education and service, an aggregator of collective industry thought, a crusader of selfless service. CRS took each cause with the principles of institutional values, but had the unique ability to adapt to changing times. I first met CRS over 4 decades ago, when our foundation nominated me as a member of the Association of Aided Polytechnics in Tamil Nadu. It was meant to represent the needs of institutions of technician training with government authorities, but also to cooperate and collaborate with each other towards enhancing learning. Meetings were attended by industry stalwarts who concentrated on the former but not the latter. I would be rather quiet because navigating government and regulatory interfaces never came easily to me. I didn't realize it didn't come easily to CRS as well. But CRS, as far as I'm concerned, he was an advisor, even in that scope. So I wished to concentrate on cooperation and learning together. And I was too diffident to voice my views amongst an august group. It was CRS who encouraged me to provide a different perspective on learning, and this triggered a long-standing friendship. CRS and I spent a lot of time together when our institution gained academic autonomy. Both our institutions pioneered and persisted with sandwich training between academics and industry. We would often share thoughts on curriculum, industrial exposure, employability. And our objective was really to make ordinary people do extraordinary things. CRS was a true catalyst. Even until a few months ago, CRS and I spoke extensively on getting engineers and technicians digital ready. And that was his involvement. Amazing. A unique learning from CRS relative to academic and industry was one of leadership alignment in both streams. We developed on this extensively, and I must say that his wise counsel stood me in good stead every time when I had to address academic leadership issues, industry partner choices, student placement, not just in technician training and polytechnic education. It also stood me well when I had the opportunity to be part of the governing board of IIT. Many years ago, admissions to institutions was very difficult. There was always a management quota of seats. However, people in government would stake claim to much of them. And particularly with me, everybody became my relative during admission season. So I asked CRS, what do I do? CRS told me, சொந்தக்காரங்களை ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது, நீங்க பார்த்துங்க. But government adjust பண்ணலாம். So I asked CRS, how do you do it? So CRS had this uncanny view. He told me to tell the people from government, what is the rule that you have? 10%. Increase the rule, I will give you the seats. And I would do that, and then everything would stop. But beyond that, I think CRS went beyond. He was a thinker, a unique thinker. He got the government and the Directorate of Technical Education, because of sandwich training, to make an allocation of seats for participating industries. While we could help participating industries, I told CRS, my family has grown further after they came to know this. அதுக்கு எனக்கு வழி இல்லை, முருகு நீங்க பார்த்துங்க. We've had some very, very interesting moments in this regard. Professionally, CRS introduced me to many outstanding entrepreneurs and enterprises in Coimbatore. These introductions have been most invaluable and greatly inspiring. The positive spirited nature of CRS was to me infectious. For him, nothing was impossible, particularly when it came to public causes. Regardless of impediments, CRS would soldier on with his unique charm. Speakers ahead of me have told you much more with greater passion. My dear friend Bala, who's here in the audience, and also a friend of CRS and a fellow director in Shanti Gears, tells me that Coimbatore's external roads today began as links between the roads from Siddhapur to Avinashi, and then Avinashi Road to the Trichy Road via GEV residency. More than that, they owe their origins and existence to CRS, who together with the then collector negotiated with landowners to see the projects through. The ability of patience and perseverance with clarity of thought and foresight truly set CRS apart. Another note Bala tells me is that with CRS's appreciation of engineering, he tried his best to convince public authorities that the columns of the elevated road project be so designed to handle a future metro rail system. CRS had the imagination towards a better infrastructure for Coimbatore, for the common man. I'm sure this noble quality, as well as his simple disposition, endeared him to all who knew him and experienced his pleasant company. Quite apart from our common interest in engineering, education, employability, welfare, CRS was amongst my first point of call when we as a group made a significant investment in Shanti Gears in the Coimbatore area. Its encouragement, support, and wise counsel was invaluable. Beyond the board of which I had invited him to be part of, he immersed himself in business strategy. He brought new skills to the board. And not just that, he encouraged my colleagues in the operations and the management to do even better. Challenged them, just like he challenged you, sir, to build this place. Although he had a few setbacks in his health from time to time, he played a very pivotal role in the progress of our company, be it labor interfaces, local area matters, etc., which was often very sensitive. But he would jokingly tell me, you stay with your principles, do not compromise, but seek to understand the local ethos and weave a path together for common good, rather than being rigid and righteous all the time. My colleagues and I carry CRS's sage advice to this day. He would make it a point to visit all facets of our operations. I must tell you, sir, he was never late for our board meeting. For a simple reason. We started with lunch. And he was always very emphatically critical about the cuisine. But in any case, unfortunately, he is no more. But if you want people to emulate CRS, not to come late, please start with lunch. He would make it a point to visit all facets of our operation. He would introduce to us all the local expertise with a long-term view of fostering excellence. Corporate development objectives apart, CRS was in this element when it came to chairing our CSR committee. Thanks to CRS's initiation, not just in a small way in Coimbatore, but across our group, we support girls' education, school infrastructure, and of course, an area dear to his heart, the environment. And many of you are associated with all these. We continue to take these forward, and we'll do this in the future as well. There have been many memorable moments, most meaningful and rewarding in my personal journey. While it is hard to find people such as CRS, there is a latent spirit in us that he has helped kindle by his constant encouragement, his passion, his penchant for quality, focus on enduring relationships, and a life fulfilled by public service. My heartfelt condolences to CRS's family, not just his family, but to all of Coimbatore. And our greatest tribute to him will be to emulate his great qualities and pass them on to posterity with the same positiveness and with CRS's characteristic smile. May his soul rest in peace, and I thank you all.